Okay, ji. Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we left at planning. So moving forward, the socialist management functions. We talked about planning. Now we should be talking about organizing. Okay, we have been comparing the normal Western European countries or the free enterprise system with the former socialist management that used to work in Russia before 90s. So the companies usually in normal, what we have studied in our normal management courses, the companies usually structure around the functions, products, and geographies, or create departmentalization, or create an amalgamation of all these things. Whereas when you look at the former Soviet Union, the management function, the very first management function of organizing is basically industries or branch ministries were organized only along with the product line. They were concerned with the production only. Every company or every production unit or enterprise was structured around only production function. Every management has to achieve the production target that have been given to them, that this is your annual target and you have to achieve this production at any cost, at any number. The second point comes here, the normally in free enterprises, the creative restructuring or reorganizing or consolidation or mergers and acquisitions are normally happen. This is a normal thing for them. And we usually take these measures in order to accommodate ourselves or change ourselves because of internal and external changes that is happening in macro environmental dynamics. Whereas in Soviet Union, there is no enterprise level autonomy to restructure. You cannot restructure. You cannot go for bankrupt, declaring yourself bankrupt. You cannot go for acquisitions or business ventures. Okay, there is no bias between a small scale enterprise or large scale enterprise. There is no biases or there is no competition between a larger firm or a smaller firm in order to gain the economies of scale. There are some multi-plant production associations. Therefore, all, if anything that the Soviet management is more concerned is the production, not about with the growth or mergers and acquisition or handling the internal and external pressures. Since government is there to handle everything, everything is artificially controlled by the government and political structure and technocrats and bureaucrats. Moving forward to the next point of the organizing is that normally we have studied that in free enterprise in the United States or in European countries or even in Pakistan, interfirm integration and coordination between suppliers and customers is the main thing that we do in order to control market forces such as supply and demand. We take managerial initiatives in order to meet with the increasing demand of a certain product, or we create demand for a certain product. But whereas in former Soviet Union and Russia, the integration and coordination between the enterprises were desired. It's important that there should be a coordination between the enterprises, not with the suppliers and customers, not with the supply and demand. But branch ministry system was not conducive to much interfactory or enterprise or inter-industry synergy and interaction. There was no enterprise, there was no coordination between the two companies. There was always possible shortages of supplies. If I am a factory and I don't have supplies to produce goods that I have been given target to achieve, then how I am going to achieve those targets if I don't have supplies? If I don't have raw material, how I would produce my finished good? So there was so much problem, tension because of these less coordination and less integration. Moving forward, the controlling. The third function of the management is the controlling. Normally, we have studied in free enterprise systems, main performance criteria is the basically profit. How much profit we earn. Other indicators may include such as the position in trends in sales, market share, what is the market share of our company, what is the market share of a certain product, what is the market rank of our product, what is our rank in the market. But in Soviet Union, they are not concerned with competition. They are not concerned about profit. If they are concerned about anything to control, then it is the enterprise production units and associations were conceptually cost centers. They have to control cost, they have to minimize cost, and they have to increase the efficiency of efficiency. They have to increase the profits. They were not profit centers, rather they were actually cost oriented. They were more concerned or focused with productivity. Increase your productivity, increase the quality, and minimize the cost. Therefore, it was impossible to know because of non-free market prices how much profit a company is earning because the government was controlling the market pricing. Moving forward, normally in enterprise systems, free enterprises, what we have studied is a success entails satisfying autonomous purchasing decisions of customers. But in Soviet Union, it is exactly the opposite. Here, the customers don't have autonomy to purchase whatever good they want. They don't have options. They don't have options to opt from or to make a choice that if I don't want to buy this company's product, so I don't buy, I would buy another company's product. But here, the only source of purchasing was the government. The companies were from the government and the same quality of the product was produced in those companies. The main performance criteria here was being on time. In Soviet Union, a socialist management, if anything is important as a performance criteria, then it was achieving the target on time rather in time. Efforts were more inclined or more focused towards reduction of the production cost. You have to minimize the cost and improve the productivity, increase the productivity, quality and delivery on time. Quality should be good at a minimum cost. Moving forward, normally in free enterprises, the senior management oversees the performance of the board of directors, such as board of directors, and they are charged with the stewardship and the interest of the shareholders and other knowledge of the stakeholders. But here in Soviet Union, the performance was monitored by branch ministries, bureaucrats, technocrats, and party officials. Moving forward, the regular detailed public financial reporting has been seen is we normally see that every company in free enterprises issue an annual report telling us about their financial standing, financial footings. Normally they have internal and external auditors which actually check whether these companies are complying with the standard reporting rules and accounting rules or not. But in Soviet Union, only one authority was there, that was actually supervisory branch ministry, and it was important for them not to disclose such information because it is highly sensitive information. We cannot disclose financial information to the public. Factory auditors were only directed to report to branch ministries, and government bank, the ghost bank, used to control the payments between enterprises. However, there was no direct control over the cash flows by the factory director. So there was certain autonomy for the controller, for the factory director, that they can use their funds as they want. Moving forward, normally in free enterprises, what happens that unsatisfactory performance can lead to transfers or resignations or discharge or dismissals, or sometimes if we are talking about on a grand level, that it might be a restructure, merger, acquisition, bankruptcy, or sales of a company. But in Soviet Union, if your performance is unsatisfactory, this could lead to dismissal and the loss of all the values, perks, and privileges that has been given to you. Similar future appointment of that specific person whose performance was not good was unlikely. He cannot be appointed again. Whereas in normal free enterprises, what happens that over time, this tends to weed out ineffective managers. sometimes we try to change them. We sometimes try to improve the ineffective managers who then have difficulty gaining similar employment or who can learn from their experience and become successful again in future. There is future in free enterprises, but in Soviet socialist management, if the control mechanism tells that you are a failure, that means you are a failure, and there's a possibility that you might not have any future appointments, such as this that you have lost right now. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude our Soviet Socialist Management chapter. This chapter ends here. In our next class, we shall be starting with the Japanese management, since we are left with two chapters now, that is Japanese management and another is the Kaizen management. We shall be talking about those two chapters in our later classes, but for now, I am Masroor Ali Soomro, signing out, and I hope that you will learn something from this lecture. Okay, one more important thing is that you need to go through, understand these lectures, and come up with the questions in our next class meeting that is scheduled as per the program officer's timetable. We shall be meeting there. We shall be discussing your queries if there is possible, and try to communicate with your other class fellows. Ask them to come online so that we can have attendance in our next class. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Fi Aman Allah.